When you learn online, you've got to be really thoughtful because there's a lot of bad information online. And there's a lot of just information in general. People have called it an infodemic.
Leadership today and the skills that I teach require the ability to adapt, pivot, adjust, increase your resiliency, and find ways to access clarity even when things feel overwhelming, confusing, constantly changing.
To really learn something, you need to do things that cognitively feel effortful.
Today we have an unusual interview, a collaboration between The Hard Skills, my podcast, and my spouse, Dr. Jeffrey Greene. Hello, Jeff Greene.
Hello, Dr. Mira Brancu.
He is a professor of educational psychology at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, studying learning, epistemology, and self-regulation. He also has a podcast through the American Psychological Association's Educational Psychology Division 15. And we also both happen to enjoy Hot Ones with Sean Evans, where he interviews celebrities while they work through increasingly spicy wings. And recently for the holidays, I got a hot sauce making kit for us, whoever was interested in the family. There it is to play around with. He is the cook, so he began making these hot sauces. It stunk up the house for like 2 days. We can describe it all in nitty-gritty detail if we want to, but now we have 4 increasingly spicy sauces available to us, and he thought, let's make this happen. So here's what I have in front of me. Let me see if I can move this camera for a second. No, that's hard to see. Okay, never mind. Maybe he can show you, but he is going to interview me. He does a much greater Sean Evans impression than I do, and I will attempt to interview him and each with 4 questions because that's how many sauces we have. And each question is going to focus on our current work. How does that sound? Sound good?
Yeah, I think it sounds good. The only thing I'm going to say is this is in no way affiliated with the Hot Ones, nor do we want to get sued by Hot Ones. So please, we're just a little friendly neighborhood podcasters here. Hot Ones, please don't come after us. We're just doing this for fun.
We're calling it spicy sauce. No, spicy stuff. Spicy things?
Spicier Things.
Spicier Things.
Yes.
That's what we're calling it.
Hat tip to Stranger Things. Yep.
Yes. All right. So let's get it started. What does this have anything to do with what we focus on, Jeff?
Well, so I think we can try to tie some of these things into the work that we do. But I do think that overall, it's just kind of like a fun way to publicly share how terrible we are with spicy foods. Like you and I are not spicy food aficionados. And so this is a great way to demonstrate some real vulnerability. We're going to open ourselves up today. I'm going to share with the world something that we're scared of, and that is hot sauce.
Okay. Yeah. And so what's your greatest concern about what will happen on this episode?
My greatest concern, all about, and that is sometimes when I have hot sauce, I start hiccuping like a lot, like uncontrollably. And I'm really worried that is going to happen on this episode, and that would be deeply embarrassing. We'll see what happens. What's your greatest concern?
My greatest concern is that it will be too spicy. The one all the way on to the right, it's got no special name. It's just called Ghost Pepper. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to handle it, but that's my greatest concern is I will not be able to handle it, and I'll have to get up and walk away.
I think there's a decent chance you and or I may DJ Khaled this, right? Where he just got up and bailed on the whole thing. You and I might just be like, see ya, all right, I'm out. But we're going to give it our best shot.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yes. Okay, let's maybe start with the first sauce.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to just see if I can share it again. It's right in front of me. Oh, there we go. I'm going to show you
so
what
this
I have.
it was a really cute gift. Thank you. Oh, there's your plate that I made for you. Nice. So it was a really cute gift. You do have to make them, but all the ingredients come kind of pre-packaged out in the right quantities, and they tell you to do it. You just need to bring your own apple cider vinegar, which was the thing that stunk up the whole house. The kids were mad at us because the house smelled so bad.
He was cooking apple cider vinegar in the house. Every room stunk up the house.
Yeah, it was omnipresent. But so our first one is the habanero garlic hot sauce. I am using chicken tenders. I am not using chicken wings. And Mira, what are you using to dip?
I'm using a number of things here. I have tofu. So they do allow you to not eat chicken. And so I'm using little tofu bites, tiny enough to not get thrown off. If I get really concerned, I might use my broccoli, or I might even have my sweet potato.
Okay.
So I'm giving myself the luxury of using different types of food just in case I can handle it with one kind of food better than the other. And are we tracking left to right?
Yes.
Are we starting with the left one all the way on the left? He made this really cute, like he set it up in these little ice cube trays,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah.
so smart.
I don't think I made the sauces quite right because they're really liquid. So they're really drippy. They're not as saucy as they should be. But I mean, I think they'll be as hot as they should be. And you and I both have things to drink, assuming that we will need them. I have milk, but I also have a unique choice. I have V8, actually low sodium V8, because I think that might help. I don't know. It could just make it worse. I have no idea.
I think that was very smart of you. I should have gotten the V8 too. I do have the milk, and I have something very weird. Some of my leftover coffee from the morning. I
That's
don't know
a
if it's
choice.
a wise
Okay,
idea, but
yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So are you ready for the first dip?
Yes. What is this called and what level is it?
So this is the habanero garlic.
I don't love garlic. We'll see.
Yeah, it's described as spicy and savory, and it appears to be a 2 on the meter here, which I'm not quite sure what that means in terms of Scoville units, but yeah, it's a 2.
2 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
All right, here we go.
That tastes a lot of apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
garlic.
It's not bad. I mean, I can feel the spice, but it's not terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Not terrible. Well, let me ask you then, while you still have that taste in your mouth, what does all of this have to do with learning online?
Well, I should tell you that it took us a while to set this up, and I'm really hungry, so I was chewing more. So
Yeah, we are eating our lunch, folks. I mean, honestly, we just decided to eat our lunch, and this is you watching us eat our lunch.
this is legit. Yeah, like I am hungry. So I do think that when you learn online, you've got to be really thoughtful because there's a lot of bad information online, and there's a lot of just information in general. People have called it an infodemic, right? An information pandemic. And much like eating hot sauce, you need to kind of like do a little taste of each source and see whether or not it seems like it's going to work for you. And if it's not, then you need to just get rid of that source right away. So Sam Weinberg has this great idea he calls critical ignoring. So lots of times we talk about people needing to think critically when they're online, but critical ignoring is just as important. And critical ignoring is like blocking or otherwise not visiting sites or sources that are not reliable, aren't making your life better, aren't helping you make good decisions. And so I do think, much like hot sauces, sometimes you just need to say to a website source like, nope, you're not for me. Thanks anyways, and then critically ignore it.
Yeah, I'm going to critically ignore the fact that this hot sauce is still lingering with me and there's 3 more to go.
I do not actually have that much lingering, so I am frankly surprised that number 1 didn't go. Should we go to number 2?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so number 2 is mango jalapeno, a little darker sauce. And I should say this is a 3 on the scale.
3 out of 5.
So
Okay.
yeah, okay. So
Okay.
dip. Here we go.
I'm still tasting apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of apple cider. I'm not getting a ton of heat on this one. Not sure what to say about that. Like, part of me, I keep checking because part of me is like, did I use too much apple cider vinegar? But I am looking at the recipe here and I used the correct amount. So for whatever reason, this is not coming across as hot as I would have expected it.
I'm tasting it a little bit more with the sweet potato.
Interesting. It's coming a little bit afterward. Like I'm getting a little bit now that it's kind of sinking in, but it's not terrible. So Mira, what does this experience have to do with leadership?
Well, it's obviously not directly related. And it doesn't actually need to be connected, right? But the connection for me is I do think that leadership today and the skills that I teach require the ability to adapt, pivot, adjust, increase your resiliency, and find ways to access clarity even when things feel overwhelming, confusing, constantly changing. And one of the unusual ways that you can strengthen your hard skills muscles is through creativity, curiosity and being open to trying new things and sometimes scary things that you haven't done before. And so experimenting and constantly learning is one of the most important skills of being a leader today. And maybe especially when you aren't sure you actually want to. So I wasn't sure I actually wanted to do this. And that told me I probably should.
But your bravery requires fear, right? You can't be brave unless you're afraid, and so you're being very brave right now. Good for you. Okay, I have to say, like, I did a couple more dips, and like it's not coming through as strongly as I had feared. So let's go on to our third one. Maybe this is like a sneak attack. Maybe these things are designed to get your guard down with the first two, and the third one is going to be the real up.
Okay.
We'll see. This is Chipotle lime hot sauce, and it
Sounds
has obviously Chipotle's in it, so that's the main source of heat. So, okay, here we go.
All right. I tasted Chipotle a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer taste the apple cider vinegar.
Good. Mm-hmm.
It's actually really good. I really
good.
like it.
It's good.
I mean,
It's
like,
just it's not very hot. I'm really
not very
surprised.
hot.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
No, and this one is indeed a 4 out of 5.
This is good.
Yeah,
It's really
I don't
good.
know.
Well,
Yeah.
Jeff, this comes to my next question because I'm going to ask you while I eat more of this because it's really good. How does eating hot sauce help people learn more effectively?
So there is an idea in learning research called desirable difficulties. And what that means is to really learn something, you need to do things that cognitively feel effortful. So there's lots of times where we're reading something and we're reading it really fluidly and it feels like it's going fast, it's going easy, and you think, wow, I'm really doing great here. Oftentimes, those are not the moments in which you're actually learning. So what may feel like kind of easy or fluid may not lead to long-term retention or ability to use it. In those moments, you actually need to enact some desirable difficulties, right? And there are particular learning strategies that are more effective than others. A lot of them have to do with you kind of creating and understanding in your own words. So whether that's explaining it to yourself or taking notes, not verbatim from a text or a video, but rather kind of writing it in your own way. But that process of transforming or constructing your own understanding, it feels more effortful. It can feel like a difficulty, but it is actually desirable. It actually helps you learn and remember and use the information better. And so much like hot sauce, hot sauce can feel intimidating. It can feel like, I just want to eat my wings. I don't want to pressure myself, but you might enjoy the experience even more. You might get even more out of it if you apply a little hot sauce. So there's my connection to hot sauce.
Is it related at all to the zone of proximal development?
So it certainly can be. So the zone of proximal development is this idea that you can think about all the things that you can do in 3 buckets, right? There's the bucket of things that you can do without any help, and that's kind of the interior circle. Then there's a larger circle around that. That's called the zone of proximal development. Those are things that you can do only with help, right? And then there's a circle that's the furthest out, or the biggest circle, and that's stuff that you can't even do with help yet. And what good teachers, what good coaches, what good software does is it puts learners in their zone of proximal development, right? So I don't want a teacher having me do stuff in the inner circle because I can already do that without help. I don't need any help with that. Likewise, I don't want teachers spending all their time giving me stuff that's in my most outermost circle because I can't even do that with help. That's just frustrating, and I'll just get, I'll just kind of bow out of that. What I want is a teacher or a coach or software to give me tasks that are in my zone of proximal development. They're like hard, but not so hard that I can't do them with some help. And eventually what happens is if you work on things in your zone of proximal development, they become things that you can do without any help. So they move into your inner circle. And the stuff that was in the outer circle that were things that you can't do even with help, moves into your zone of proximal development. And so one way to think about learning is just stuff kind of moving from the outermost circle to the second most innermost to the inner circle. And putting people in their zone of proximal development helps make that process happen. And so In this case, I think we're moving up hot sauces, right? We were concerned that we couldn't do it with the first one, and we could. That was in our innermost circle. The second one also innermost. And I mean, I think the third one was kind of too. So I think we're a little under challenged. Perhaps I didn't do the recipe correctly, but I feel like so far, Mira, we are under challenged. So bring it on. Make your own hot sauce recipes.
I'm pretty satisfied, but yeah, I guess that means I'm not being pushed hard enough.
So I think now the ghost pepper fourth recipe. This is the one that's supposed to be like really like off the charts hot, right? So this is, and as you said, it's nothing. It just says ghost pepper hot sauce. Like there's no lime, there's no mango, there's no garlic. It's just like this is just going to be hot, yo, and that's just the way it is.
I have two two cloths here, just for the hands and for the face, just in case I need them.
Wow. You've got all kinds of accoutrements there that I don't. Okay. All right. It's ghost pepper time. Let's do it.
My nose is already running, though, even before this. I'm waiting for you to eat it.
So it's hot. I mean, I can feel it. I can definitely feel a building. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This one's hot.
Okay.
Is it hitting you
I
yet?
just realized because they're a little liquidy, I should have dipped further in and swooshed around, which I wasn't doing with the others. So I did it with this one, which is a terrible, terrible idea. Let me try again.
You just went for it. You just said, you know what? I'm going all in, which I love that about you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's definitely hot. I can feel it. I'm not in tremendous pain. I could keep eating it if I needed to.
Yes.
So what I'm wondering is, like, did I not boil this down enough? Like, maybe it's not concentrated enough. Maybe we need to, like...
Sadly, you might have needed to boil down the apple cider vinegar even further. I don't know.
I know, right?
But that would have been devastating to our household. The kids were already upstairs on the second floor in their rooms under the blankets because they couldn't bear the smell.
Right. Yeah. Could it be that the most difficult part of this particular hot sauce recipe task is the actual cooking and not the eating itself?
Mm-hmm.
It could be. All right. So Mira, I want to know how eating hot sauce helps people learn to manage their emotions at work.
Well, it's especially eating hot sauce in front of other people because that's all emotion regulation, right? Behind closed doors, maybe I would have lost my cool, screamed, yelled, cursed, whatever. But at work, if I'm yelling at people, that can be incredibly damaging to the entire organizational culture, team culture. As a leader, I don't want to be intimidating. I don't want to abuse people. I don't want to scare people into doing their work, right? All of that damages psychological safety. And so the thing that I would need to do as a leader is think about how my emotions and then how I use those emotions and react to those emotions and interpret those emotions come out in my interactions with other people. And all of that is emotion regulation. It's self-awareness, it's awareness of other people's reactions to me, and then it's also self-management and how I manage those emotions with other people. And so that means being aware, for example, if I'm increasing in this hot sauce and it is causing me more and more distress, being fully aware of the level of distress that I'm in, and then deciding, do I need a timeout? Do I need to step away so that I can regain, my composure? Do I need to say something like, I'm really feeling a lot right now and I don't want that to affect you, but here's how I'm feeling, right? All of that transparency or self-management helps with how I work with people. And all of that is managing emotions at work and managing triggers, our own triggers, right? My triggers might be different from yours. Right? Like I thought one of these sauces were a little bit spicier than you thought. You thought the last one was spicier than I did. And so it's also not expecting that I'm going to react in some similar way or know how to react in some way compared to other people just because, I'm at the same level of leadership or in the same role or whatever. It's knowing myself well enough and then knowing how to, what to do with that. That's some like interesting connections I just made with that hot sauce.
I'm impressed. Good job.
Thank
yeah.
you.
I think something that I don't think about a lot at work is just being honest about moments where I'm kind of emotionally overwhelmed or feel out of control, and just kind of voicing that and then saying, hey, I need a minute. I'm going to step out. Like that's not something that I think about as much, and I think it would be really helpful. So I learned something. Thank you for helping me learn today. And, I think if anyone's watching this, if to the 3 people that are watching this ever, you might have hoped that we would have a more visceral kind of outsized reaction to these hot sauces. I blame myself. I need to, reconsider my hot sauce cooking technique here. They were hot, but not probably as hot as they should have been. But nonetheless, I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad that we spent some time together, challenging ourselves. So as we wrap up, Mira, why don't you let the good people here know kind of what you've got going on and what you have to offer for them. And I'm just going to keep eating hot sauce. And
and also, as you were talking, I was really discovering, I was poking at it with my fork and realizing all of the spicy stuff was at the very bottom. So I think we'll have to do another one with picking out the spicy stuff. Anyway, what I have going on. Okay, my spring 2026 Strategic Leadership Resiliency Fellowship program is opening up. I did it in the fall. It includes 3 options. I'm teaching a half-day workshop on strategic clarity on February 23rd to help folks move from develop a diagnostic framework to move from reactive mode to strategic mode. There's a second workshop on April 17th on career transitions. It is exactly what it sounds like, helping people make decisions about their next career step, and opening up cohort number 4 of my Strategic Leadership Resiliency Accelerator. It's a 5-week system for building strategic resilience, navigating power dynamics, building strong teams, and developing leadership capacity. It has some of these concepts in it, and I'm going to add all of that information in the show notes. But importantly, my upcoming podcast episodes, all of them are going to be series focused on these 3 programs. So you'll be able to learn more about it over time. So Jeff, what do you have going on?
So I have going on right now a little more heat, right? So you're right. Like there's some stuff at the bottom. It kind of settled a little bit. So there is a little more kind of hotness happening. Not terrible, but it is happening. So I have a big semester coming up. I am working on a book on theory development in education and education research. So, I'm a person that really relies on theory. I think theory can be really helpful, but I don't think in many doctoral preparation programs or any other kind of preparation program, we spend time teaching people how to think about theory, how to develop good theories, how to decide which parts of theories are working and which parts aren't, how to integrate theory. So Walter Mischel once said, theories are like toothbrushes. Everyone has their own and no one wants to use anyone else's, right? So you just get like a million theories about the same thing. And at some point, it's not helpful to have 24 theories of motivation. We probably need fewer than that. So we need to figure out how to evaluate and integrate them. And so the book that I'm going to be writing is going to cover all those things. Like, how do we think about theory? What is theory supposed to do? How do we generate theory? How do we test it? How do we evaluate theories? And how do we integrate them? So that's the project over the next 8 months or so. And hopefully this time next year, it'll be in a physical form, much like our hot sauce recipe book, just as spicy, perhaps. And so that's what I got going on. I'm excited to see it come to fruition.
I'm excited to see it come to fruition too. And once you write it, maybe I'll have you on my podcast to talk about it. One of my first questions is going to be, if we have only a few theories, how are we all going to differentiate our special selves? And why can't we have our own frameworks?
I know, right? Well, and that again, like we can each have our own toothbrush, but I don't know that I want to use anyone else's. At the same time, I want to put a plug in for your series because whether you realize it or not, I am kind of your first client because we walk around the block every night and you like think about these ideas and like, we kind of talk through them, or I bring you issues and then you help me think through them. And I like to think that, in some small way kind of helps you develop what you're doing. So as the first recipient of all these ideas, I can vouch they are super helpful. And so I hope that lots of people sign up and they will be better for it. So
you're all my test cases in my market research. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm just your perfect client. I'm just exactly what your clients, I share your client's experience, of course, not at all. But this was fun. Thanks for inviting me on your podcast and for sharing some hot sauce with me.
Absolutely. It was a great time. And thank you, everyone, for indulging us. And until next time, keep building that hard skills muscle. Take care, everybody.
See ya.